Hi guys, and welcome to this review of the Shredlights SL-200. Let's cut to some footage and I'll see you guys in a minute. Don't go anywhere. In this video, we're going to be reviewing the Shredlights SL-200, but this won't be a general review and it won't be a review which focuses specifically on specs as such. If you want to watch a review of that nature, then in the description I've linked a video by a good friend of mine, Tim Wood. Instead, we're focusing on the helmet and backpack mounting systems and seeing how practical these lights can really get when you get creative with the various mounting systems on offer. Now, this isn't a sponsored video, but Shredlights did very kindly send me their Night Ops pack for me to give an honest review. I've been the proud owner of a pair of Shredlights for coming up to about 6 months now, so when Shredlights reached out to me, I was more than happy to give a review of their excellent lights. So I'm going to be breaking down this review really into 4 key sections, and I'll leave some timestamps in the description and the comments below in case you want to skip to any particular section. Firstly, we'll be doing a quick unboxing of the Night Ops pack. Then we'll go on to talk about versatility and how modular the Shredlights system is. Next, we look at the necessity of upper body lighting for safe riding. And finally, I'll give my verdict on these lights and whether I think they're worth the premium buck. Spoiler alert, they are. Let's get to the unboxing. The mounting system of the Shredlights to your helmet is brilliant. Your Night Ops pack will include a GoPro action mount, so you can put your Shredlights anywhere and you can easily interchange between various different electric vehicles which you might have, like electric skateboards, electric scooters, electric unicycles, and even helmets. Your pack also includes 2 sticky mounts which you can use to mount Shredlights to your helmet or under your board. You'll notice how in the starting sequence to this video I was riding with 1 rear light on my board, 1 front light on my body using the clip mount, and 2 lights on my helmet. What I love about the Shredlights action mounts is that they allow you to use your Shredlights in a super modular way. Now, some of you might say, but you can just unclip the actual Shredlight from the S-Lock mount, but then I would end up with a bulging action clip on my helmet. The S-Lock mount system is already great, where you can just slide out your Shredlight to charge it or to move it to another mount. But I think that it works much better for the board mounts than it does for the helmet or the clip mounts. Personally, I prefer taking the whole light mount off the GoPro piece and moving it to my board or my scooter or vice versa. The flexibility of the GoPro mount means that I can have my GoPro on my helmet and be recording during the day, and then when night comes I can simply slot in a Shredlight into the same GoPro clip. Now, this works out perfectly because I wouldn't usually be recording with my GoPro during the night because I usually get grainy footage, and equally during the day I wouldn't be using my Shredlights because I wouldn't need to. As well as a half lid, I also have a full face helmet for when I'm pushing my limits. I've put GoPro mounts over that helmet as well, so I love how I can just very easily clip on my Shredlight SL-200s and instantly be lit up. The beauty of having shred lights on your helmet is that you're instantly lit up and you're ready to carry out a whole array of activities beyond Esk8. So you could do mountain biking, motocross, adventure walking, one wheel, electric unicycle, whatever it is that floats your boat, you know, you'll be out there and you'll be lit up and safe. There've been many times where I've come home from riding my electric skateboard, having finished the battery, and still not having been satiated. So I've taken out my electric scooter for another ride. Instead of having separate lights for each vehicle that I need to worry about charging, I just pick up the same helmet and I'm safe, I'm out the door, and I'm ready to ride again. Now it's worth saying that I do have a small rear light on my M365 Pro electric scooter, but it's no comparison to the shred lights, which are far superior, not only in brightness at 200 lumens, but also the various lighting modes which they offer, particularly the pulsing mode, which really makes you stand out to other road users at night. The SL-200s also maintain a really good charge. I normally have the rear lights on pulse mode, and oftentimes I go weeks without even thinking about charging them. Shredlights actually advertise up to 150 hours of battery life, which is just absolutely... When the shred lights do eventually run out of juice, the Nightops pack includes 3 dual micro USB charging cables, so you can charge 4 lights with only 2 USB cables. Super convenient. If you're sick of cables and want to be dealing with as little cables as possible, then on the Shredlights website you can actually purchase a USB charging cable that will charge 4 of your lights simultaneously. If you want to use your SL-200s on a bike, it's worth noting that most bike lights are an absolute nightmare to keep going. Some bike lights, which are battery powered, require you to take them apart and replace the batteries every now and then. And with rechargeable ones, getting them off their mounts to charge them can be really tedious and annoying. And you find that with time their battery duration depletes massively. With shred lights on the other hand, I've noticed no battery depletion in 6 months of use. And it's really easy to remove the shred light from the bike mount to charge it using the S-Lock system. In fact, just this month, Shredlights have released a plethora of new mounting solutions for electric scooters, bicycles, and even electric mountain boards like the Cali NYC boards and Tramper boards. Judging by the quality of the previous mounting systems, and indeed the ones which we're discussing in this video, the new mounting systems will be amazing. Now, electric mountain boarders finally can also enjoy a high quality, high performance, reliable light which can light their way off-road and on trails. The clip mount, which is included in the Nightops pack, I've found is super convenient and absolutely brilliant for group rides. Now I'm stealing this point from Tim Wood's review, but I absolutely agree with him, so why not? You might be out on a group ride, you may have even arranged the group ride, and it's approaching late hours, it's quite dark out, and you'll be riding on the roads, and you have a rider who's part of your group who's not brought with them any lights. Now with these shred lights clip mount, you can very easily clip that light onto his backpack or onto the back of his jacket and instantly have him safe from oncoming vehicles, from vehicles from behind him, and instantly have him lit up. This actually came in really handy just last week where we were on a community ride in Manchester, and a friend of mine hadn't brought any lights with him, so I just clipped on a rare shred light to his backpack, and voila, he is safe and he is lit up. So for that reason, I highly recommend that anybody who is actively involved in arranging group rides or anybody that attends a lot of group rides considers purchasing the Nightops pack, because as well as sorting out yourself for lights and making sure you are safe, you can also look out for other members of your group. Also, using the conventional board mounting system that comes stock with the Nightops pack and allows you to mount your shred lights onto almost any electric skateboard, your lights are aligned like almost perfectly. And what this means is that you get a super symmetrical, cool looking glow at the front and the back of your board if you use 2 lights at the front and 2 lights at the back. By the way, if you cast your mind back to the opening sequence of this video, you'll notice how I was only using 1 rear shred light on the back of my board, yet the beam it was producing was still highly effective and far-reaching. You can only imagine how strong the beam would be if I used 2 lights on the front and 2 lights at the back of my board, as conventionally most people do, and as indeed you can do if you buy the Night Ops pack. Lights mounted on your board are typically great, but from a driver's perspective, if the driver is sitting quite far back in their seat, and if you as the rider have your board within quite a close proximity to the driver's car, then I think it could be quite easy for the driver to miss your board mounted lights, and that could potentially put you in dangerous situations. I think you can eliminate the possibility of this happening if you had lights which were mounted higher up. For example, if you had a clip light on part of your clothing or on your backpack, or if you had helmet lights like I do. When you're riding on the roads regularly, you really want to give drivers every single excuse to see you. In the UK, the 2018 RAC report on motoring discovered that 25% of riders admit to having used their phone whilst driving in the past year. And in the US, the National Safety Council estimates that cell phone use contributes to 1.6 million crashes per year, and that a whopping 25% of crashes are owed in some way to texting and driving. To us e-skaters and other personal light electric vehicle users, one-wheelers, electric unicyclers, if that's even a word, cars are essentially tons of metal that travel very fast. All it takes is for a driver to lose concentration for but a few seconds. Perhaps it's because they think they need to send an urgent text message, and before you know it, they've ploughed into you and you've lost an arm and you've lost a leg and you're not going to get back up again maybe. And that's exactly why high visibility, especially in low light situations, is absolutely paramount for your own safety. With the Shredlights helmet and backpack mount, it's actually very difficult for cars and other vehicles on the road to miss you, because your lights are quite high up on your body, and in all likelihood they're at eye level with the vast majority of traffic on the road. And so I can strongly recommend that anybody picks these up for night riding. The other point to mention is that if you're anything like me and you can't shred without carving, then helmet lights are super useful. See, when you carve, the direction of the front and the back of your board will constantly be alternating left to right, and so visibility is really reduced straight on and straight behind you. Your head though will stay naturally looking straight on ahead, and so will any shred lights which you mount to the front and the back of your helmet. This allows you to carve as hard as you want, in the safe knowledge that your board mounted lights won't infringe on your ability to be visible to other cars around you, because on your helmet you have a light which will be looking straight ahead and a rear light which will be looking straight back at traffic behind you. Now, another huge advantage of having helmet mounted shred lights is that you can see ahead further than board mounted lights. If you're traveling at 25 miles per hour, you really don't want to be looking down in front of your board, looking out for obstacles on the road, big rocks if you're riding on street wheels, or looking out for potholes. Because what's happening there is that your attention is being drawn away from your surroundings and from the traffic and from what's going on around you on the road, which is really important. It's really important that as a rider and as a responsible rider, you're cognizant of everything that's happening around you. When is that car going to pull out from the next bend? Is that kid going to try and cross the road just before I get to him? You know, we need to be aware of all these things, and you don't want to be staring down at the floor, because that's just going to be a hazard for yourself. In any case, I think even if you did spot an obstacle, notwithstanding the fact that the Shredlights beam is quite far reaching, you're traveling at such a speed that you'll see it, but then it's going to be too late to carve out the way or to bail. You know, it's just going to hit you. If you see a pothole at 25 miles an hour and you're only 2 meters away, there's not much you can do about it. What's much better, I think, is having a light mounted on your helmet. It's much more far-reaching purely because of the angle of it. You're looking down, you can angle the light out a bit, so you're looking further ahead into the road, and it's very easy to scan the surface of the road as you're riding, and also at the same time being aware of your surroundings and being aware of all the hazards which are presenting themselves around you whilst you're riding. Occasionally when I'm riding on a main road and a car is coming up to a junction waiting to pull into that main road, I'll just take a very quick glance at the driver of that car, and what will happen most times is that, you know, the shred lights are quite bright, especially if you have them at an angle. I'll light up the front driver's area of that car, and I'll be safe in the knowledge that they've probably seen me and they know that I'm coming, and they're not going to pull out in front of me at the last second, and I'm not going to fall, I'm not going to be run over by their car. I know there's going to be people who say, why pay so much for shred lights when you can buy bike lights on Amazon or on eBay for a fraction of the cost? Let me address that now. So in my skating life, I've been through 5 electric skateboards and dozens, literally countless cheap bike lights and all sorts of lights from Amazon and from eBay in an effort to try and get myself lit at night for my own safety. What I've found is that some of them work brilliant for a few rides, and then the board vibrations kill them. With other lights, they're not water resistant, and I managed to ride in the rain once or twice and they're finished. Other cheap lights I've used lose their capacity within just a few rides sometimes, which just makes them dead weights and superfluous. All of those lights I had to modify to use on my boards. None of them came with compatible mounting systems, and I certainly couldn't use any of them on my helmets or on any clip mount to mount on my bag or to mount on a jacket. Now you look at shred lights. Their brightness is blinding. Their battery life is phenomenal. They're rated IP65 water resistant. They can easily be mounted to any board, either using the shred lights mounting brackets or using GoPro mounts. They'll work with any helmet or any bag, and they're extremely versatile. Their customer support is also phenomenal. A friend of mine, Pedro, had a small issue with one of his shred lights, which happens. No product is perfect, and issues can happen occasionally now and then with any product or any company. But the important thing is to have great customer service so that you can be back out shredding safely. He reached out to Shred Lights and no questions asked, they replaced his light. I think they gave him a couple of lights and they shipped it to him, and it was with him in a few days. Now I've experienced all these things firsthand for months and for hundreds of miles of riding, and I think my ultimate conclusion is it's as with anything. If you buy cheap, you should expect to buy twice. In the long run, it's far more cost efficient to buy shred lights at the outset than to buy a whole multitude of cheap lights and then not be satisfied and end up at the premium shred lights in the end anyway. Ultimately, these lights will ensure your visibility whilst out riding, and shred lights, especially if used with the various action mounts that we discussed in this video, will facilitate for your safety and could prevent a vehicle from running into you. And in that sense, if they can prevent you from undergoing serious injury or worse, then these lights truly are priceless. I've thoroughly enjoyed owning shred lights for the last 6 months, and I've been impressed with them, but I'm even more impressed with the various mounting options which Shred Lights offer to their customers. I would happily recommend the Shred Lights Night Ops pack for anybody that's watching this video, and I can assure you that you will not regret this purchase. If you want to get your own Night Ops pack or anything else Shred Lights, then use code LEE at the Shred Lights checkout for 10% off your order. If you've made it this far in the video, then first of all, props to you, well done. I've got a tendency to ramble a bit, but yeah, I really appreciate it, and I really hope that you found some kind of benefit or use from this video. If you did, please hit the like button, share what you found useful in the comment section, and please be sure to subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out.